a pretty big couple of weeks on the USJ blog, so let's cut the bullshit and get down to business, shall we? The button topic of the past couple of weeks has been doxing. If you're not familiar with doxing, it's the process of getting somebody's personal information in their real life from their online profile, and then using this information to wreak havoc in their personal life. Those of you with at least two firing neurons might probably recognise this as a really shitty thing to do to somebody, in which case gold star for you for not being a literal piece of human garbage. The whole doxing thing got a bit of momentum when the popular online webcomic Pleb Comics got doxed by social justice warriors, and then proceeded to harass her to the point where she had to quit her fucking job. Pleb got doxed after posting a comic about how poorly everyone was handling the whole Ferguson thing. This is by no means the first time somebody's had their life ruined by being doxed, but it just happened recently enough for us to all still give a shit. So let's talk about doxing and why it's such a fucking stupid idea. When you decide to dox somebody, you're appointing yourself judge, jury and executioner over a total fucking stranger. You're basically ruining the internet for everybody else, because the best thing about the internet is the fact that it's a bastion of free speech and that you can say whatever you like anonymously without real fear of repercussion in your real life. Once that's gone, nobody's allowed to be funny, unique or interesting anymore, because everyone's going to be too afraid of upsetting somebody to actually say what they think. As someone who says what they think quite a lot, I can tell you this is just not on. And the outpouring of support that Pleb got on our blog would probably support that fact. But if you really have nothing better to do than ruin someone's life over something they've said on the internet, then allow me to suggest to you some alternatives to doxing. Number 1. Write a strongly worded letter to the person you are thinking about doxing. Then fold this letter into an origami crane and shove it up your ass. Number 2. Go and fuck yourself, because you're an arrogant asshole who thinks that what they think is so important that they deserve to ruin somebody else's life. Number 3. Turn off the internet and go outside, you sad, sad person. In more recent news, the Deaf Psych 1 posted a selfie and I had to stop whatever I was doing to pause and have a quick wank. He got a lot of love from you guys, and at this point I'd like to remind everyone to back the fuck off because he's mine and I saw him first.
Everybody wanna steal my girl. Everybody wanna take her all away. Couple billion in the whole wide world. Find another one 'cause she belongs to me.
Everyone's favourite internet fraud, Nita Sarkeesian's been up to her old tricks again when she appeared on Stephen Colbert and made a complete fucking ass out of herself. He proceeded to throw shade harder than a pair of Ray-Bans and made her look a complete fucking idiot. I've got mixed feelings about Nita because on the one hand she looks a bit like one of my ex-girlfriends, and on the other one she's trying to ruin my favourite hobby, which happens to be video gaming. I think we can all agree though that she's a bad person who profits off the spreading of misinformation, and I hope she disappears as quickly and quietly as possible. I wouldn't be doing my job properly if I didn't bring up the whole unarmed black kids getting shot by cops in America thing. I don't live in America, so I don't have a whole lot of right to comment on this, but I can tell you guys that there's only been one post on the topic that I've actually agreed with, and it was this one. All I'll really say on the issue is that every life loss is an absolute tragedy, and if you think that anything gives you the right to murder somebody in cold blood, you're an absolute fucking heathen. And that goes for both sides of the issue. And now it's time for our submission of the week, where I picked the anon message or submission that gave me the most jollies this week. Since this is the first edition of the USJ Wrap-Up, I'm not going to pick something from this week, but going to go back a bit further than that and talk about a guy who rapes his girlfriend. I'm not going to identify him because that's not really my bag, but let's just start off by saying that he thought it was totally cool to have sex with somebody who was drunk and it was their fault if they got raped. The issue of consent while intoxicated is something that's far too broad for me to comment on here, so I decided to use my scientific training to conduct a survey. We interviewed one straight white guy and asked him if he'd ever have sex with somebody who was intoxicated to the point where they couldn't even stand up. Probably not. I have to say that most of you guys handled this really well and were pretty appalled by what he had to say, but it later came out that he and his girlfriend regularly engaged in rape fetish sexual intercourse wherein he would continue even after she used the safe word. So this particular individual wins the coveted Australian One's Scumbag of the Century award. That's about it for this week, guys. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed it at all, please subscribe, or don't.